कुंज विहारे। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारे। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारे। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जना। यमुनतीरावनचारे। यमुनतीरावनचारे। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारे। जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे हरे। जय कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्याभामा, कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्याभामा। जय निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जौमिष्टपाद परम परवराज कष्टोत्तर श्रीवेंकटे से भक्तिवेंत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की ISKCON founder Acharya, BBT founder Acharya, saved the whole world. Jai Guru Srila Prabhupada की, इंद्र देवी तुलसी महारानी की, श्री श्री कृष्णा रुक्मिणी सत्यभामा की, श्री श्री नित्याय गौरंग की, नित्याय गौर प्रेमानंदे ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेष नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 6, entitled Conversation between Narada and Vasudeva, text number 20. Evam etantam vijine, evam etantam vijine, evam etantam vijine, mam aha gocharo giram mam aha gocharo giram mam aha gocharo giram gambira shlakshanaya vacha gambira shlakshanaya vacha गंभीरश्लक्षणाय वाचा शुचः प्रशमयन् इव शुचः प्रशमयन् इव शुचः प्रशमयन् इव एवं यतन्तं विजिने माम आहो गोचरो गिराम गंभीराश्लक्षणाय वाचा शुचः प्रशमयन् इव एवं यतन्तं विजिने माम आहो गोचरो गिराम गंभीराश्लक्षणाय वाचा शुचः प्रशमयन् इव एवं एतदं विजिने मामाहो गोचरो गिराम्। word meaning. Evam, thus, etantam, one who is engaged in attempting. Vijine, in that lonely place. Mam, unto me. Aha, said. Agocharaha, beyond the range of physical sound. Giram, utterances. Gambhira, grave. Shakshanaya, pleasing to hear. Vacha, words. Suchaha, grief. Prashamayan, mitigating. Iva, like. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Seeing my attempts in that lonely place, the personality of Godhead, who is transcended to all mundane description, spoke to me with gravity and pleasing words, just to mitigate my grief. Please repeat the translation. Seeing my attempts in that lonely place, the personality of Godhead, who is transcended to all mundane description, spoke to me with gravity and pleasing words, just to mitigate my grief. Purport. In the Vedas, it is said that God is beyond the approach of mundane words and intelligence. And yet, by His causeless mercy, one can have suitable senses to hear Him or to speak to Him. This is the Lord's inconceivable energy. One upon whom His mercy is bestowed can hear Him. The Lord was much pleased with Narada Muni, and therefore the necessary strength was invested in him so that he could hear the Lord. It is not, however, possible for others to perceive directly the touch of the Lord during the probationary stage of regulative devotional service. It was a special gift for Narada. When he heard the pleasing words of the Lord, the feelings of separation were to some extent mitigated. A devotee in love with the Lord feels always the pangs of separation and is therefore always enwrapped in transcendental ecstasy. The sense of Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Vena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namavam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So here we are discussing from the chapter 6, the title as Conversation between Narada and Vasudeva. So the background of this verse is that when Vasudeva was completed his writings of all Vedas, Upanishads and Puranas, still he was not satisfied at the core of the heart. Then he was meditating what is lacking in me. Then at time Narada appears and he explains about the importance of directly glorifying the Supreme Lord's activities and his birth and his pastimes that Vasudeva did not elaborately explain in the previous writings. So after explaining about the glories of the glories of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna and his activities to be enumerated elaborately in the Srimad-Bhagavatam. That's how the Srimad-Bhagavatam came to existence. So after instructing Vasudeva, and Vasudeva was satisfied, and he further asked Narada, how did you attain this knowledge? How did you come to this position of understanding Supreme Lord, and how did you attain this perfection that I was meditating for a long time but I did not attain? So Narada explains about his history, his past life. So that's what the previous chapter entitles. So So in the Narada's previous lives, he was the son of a maid servant, and he was, by fortune, he was associating with the Bhakti Vedantas for Chaturmasya, 4 months in a village, in a forest. And he had only his alone. So his mother is assisting the Bhakti Vedantas for their maintenance and cleanliness. So Narada also doing the helping the mother and associating with the Bhakti Vedantas. So then in that association, Narada took the prasadam given by Bhakti Vedantas, and he heard the Bhaktivedanta conversations about Supreme Lord, and somehow like that he got attracted to the Supreme Lord's activities and pastimes. So like that he attained the perfection, and just by taking once only the remnants of the Bhaktivedantas, he attained the spiritual realization of understanding the absolute truth. Then further, Narada asks, after they left, after the 4 months, Bhaktivedanta left that place and they are moving to different places. Then Vyasa further asked, after Bhaktivedanta left, what happened? How did you pass on your life? Then that is how here Narada is explaining the further activities, what did undergone after Bhaktivedanta left. So Narada explained about his mother passed away due to snake bite, and it is also a special fear of the Lord that I can focus completely on the Supreme Lord, and he started moving forward to the northern direction, to the Himalayas. And he passed through so many forests and everything, cities, towns. In the previous verses, it is said, I then passed alone through many forests, bushes, bamboo, sharp grass, weeds, caves, which are very difficult to alone. I visited deep, dark forest, which were playards of snakes, wolves, and jackals. Thus traveling, I felt tired, both bodily and mentally, and I was both thirsty and hungry. I took bath in the river lake and also drank water. By contracting water, I got relief from my exhaustion. After that, under the shadow of a banyan tree in an uninhabited forest, I began to meditate upon the super soul situated within, using my intelligence. As I heard, learned from the Bhaktivedantas, liberated souls. So after that, he followed the method prescribed by Bhaktivedantas and started meditating on the super soul who is situated in everybody's heart. But as soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead with my mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna appeared on my lotus heart. Further describes, O Vasudeva, at that time, being Shri Krishna Rukmini Satyabhama ki at that time, being exceedingly overpowered by feelings of happiness, every part of my body became separately enlivened. Being absorbed in ocean of ecstasy, I could not see both myself and the Lord. The transcendental form of the Lord, as it is, satisfies the mind's desire and at once erases all mental incongruities. Upon losing that form, I suddenly got up, being perturbed as usual when loses that which is desirable. The previous verse, I desire to see again that transcendental form of the Lord, but despite my attempts to concentrate upon the heart with eagerness to view the form again, I could not see him anymore, and thus dissatisfied, I was very much aggrieved. So today's verse is an extension of the previous verses. So seeing my attempts in that lonely place, the personality of Godhead, who is transcendent to all mundane description, spoke to me with gravity and with pleasing words just to mitigate my grief. So this is the context where Narada is experiencing grief-stricken condition because he had a brief darshan of the Lord just few minutes ago. Now he is feeling the separation of the disappearing the Lord's form within his heart. Now he's felt very disappointed. Again he started meditating on the Lord, but still Lord is not appeared. Lord did not appear again. So in that condition he keep on trying. That is what called etanta. Etanta means attempting more and more times. Still he could not get the darshan of the Lord. So we in the as we are all living entities, we are living in the material world conditioned souls. So we also try to attempt so many things. to become happy. That is our materialistic way of life. To be happy in terms of bodily happiness and sense enjoyment and extended sense enjoyment. So that is the mode of living everybody does in this material world. For what? For to become happy, for to attain perfection. But still, even though we try so many things, the miseries which are part of this world will not go. That's what Krishna describes as this world as Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. How much ever we try to become happy, our attempts are all become futile, because this world is such a place that to enjoy materially it is not possible, and we cannot attain permanent happiness. We may get only flickering happiness, a momentary happiness. That's what even Krishna also describes in Bhagavad Gita. Antavantu phalam tesham. Even if you do so many attempts, even if you worship the demigods for so many vratas you may do for material enjoyment, still that is temporary. You may experience some happiness in the heavenly planets for some time, but again you have to come to this material world of birth, death, old age and disease. This we cannot escape. So this is what Krishna says, Dukhalayam. So this is place of misery and it is temporary. So we cannot adjust, okay, I can adjust with the miseries and live on. No, Krishna says it is temporary, you cannot live on. You have to end your life and again repeat the same cycle of undergoing miseries, how much ever you try in the material way of happiness. So now people are mad after technology. So now we have got so many gadgets, so many improvements in technological and medical advancements. Still, okay, I can be happy by utilizing those. Instead of doing vrata, I can get gadgets and become happy. So for common people, the scientists and this technology has become like a demigods. So if I possess this technology, I can become happy. Instead of doing vratas, they're purchasing the technology and trying to become happy. That is also futile, because we are in the current society, we are seeing so many people are full of anxiety and undergoing depression, even though they may have everything in their possession. So the technology is also not giving the solution. Just like in one incident happened recently in North Carolina. So a man wanted to go to some place. So what he did is, instead of asking everybody, instead of asking locals, he solely depended on Google Maps. So that is a part of technological development. It's like a app. It's a part of technology. So he searched, he typed the destination where I have to go. Then he showed the map. So he was keep on traveling, and so nicely path is showing and leading him further. And it says he has to actually cross a river. So it shows a bridge also is there. So he followed without noticing, or it's because its map is showing he is running about 60 or 80 km per hour speed, and is keep traveling. Then finally what happened? In between, there actually a bridge was collapsed. So but map is showing the route. So he drawn with that speed, he did not stop, he could not stop, and it actually there was no further attachment. There is a broken bridge is there. So he fell down in the river and passed away. So his attempt to use the technology is futile. That I can use this technology, I can become happy, I can reach my destination, I can become successful. So that is actually not happened. So that what happened, because of the bridges collapsed due to some heavy rain or some tsunami, the algorithm of the satellite which runs and updates the maps did not do it in time. It may be recently, maybe it might have broken. So the technology did not save the life. Actually, the technology is he's cheated or he's destroyed his life. So even their family went and sued the Google company itself. You did not update on time, so I lost my relative in this accident. So like this, if you depend on the technology or in thinking that this will give me happiness, this will attain me perfection. So this is a misdirected civilization where our focus is only towards our materialistic way of life, where I can get happiness to my body, senses, and extend the senses. So these attempts are all being futile. But when we come in touch with the spiritual master, what happens? How our goal in direction of life changes. That's what we can experience in the life of Narada Muni. So even though he was a 5-year-old child in the previous life, but he was attached to the Bhakti Vedantas. He did not being so much worry about his maintenance, his bodily enjoyment, his sense enjoyment. He was not even playing with the other boys. He was only absorbed in thinking of Krishna, whatever Vedantas, Bhakti Vedantas told. He was always trying to meditate, how can I follow those instructions? So he got a spiritual dimension of his life, that this materialistic life is troublesome. So I have to adopt a process which is recommended by spiritual master, so that I can get the permanent happiness which I am actually entitled as a spirit soul. But most of the population is not aware that we are a spirit soul, and everybody is engrossed in the bodily concept of life. That's why their goal is towards material enjoyment and materialistic way of life. So these are all futile attempts to, we may succeed in getting so many degrees, you may succeed in so much technological development, we may get so many wealth, money, fame, everything, but ultimately it will not satisfy eternally. It will not give permanent happiness, because our body itself is temporary, and associated senses and sense object and extended bodies and their sense objects is also temporary. So it's only for a momentarily we may feel happiness, but it will not last. So that's why we feel hollowness in our life. So to come in touch with the spiritual master, then our life will transform, and we focus on another dimension of, or the actual dimension of life as spiritual life. So that life is kindled in our life by coming in touch with the spiritual master. So just like there is a story in the Puranas where one thief, so he wanted to get a lot of money by stealing jewelry. That time only jewelry was the means of exchange of buying goods or everything. So gold coins and jewelry he wanted to steal. So he was stealing in the houses and everywhere. Somehow he happened to come to one Pandal program where one teacher or one spiritual master is addressing the people and is explaining the Krishna's form. So Krishna is adorned with peacock feather, lot of jewel, Kastuba jewel on the chest, and in the west there is a belt, golden belt, ankle bells. Everything is described very nicely. So that thief who is sitting in the pandal thinking that I can steal some of the people's jewelry here. But when he heard the discussion of Krishna's form and his what and all he is wearing on his body, he became very greed. So that spiritual master also told, so where does Krishna live? So the spiritual master explained, he lives in Vrindavan, in the forest. So if you go and call him, he will come and meet you. So thief, even though he is greedy and he wanted to steal the ornaments of Lord Sri Krishna, so he went to the forest as directed by as he heard in the class, the spiritual master told that Krishna lives eternally in Vrindavan. So he went and with eagerness, he was calling for Lord Krishna. Where are you? I want to see you. I want to meet you. So he was, day after day, he was trying and calling loudly, where I can find you. So seeing the thief's eagerness to see me, Krishna appeared to him, and with all the jewels on him. So one day he asked the thief, can I get some of your jewels? When the thief saw, he was mesmerized by seeing Krishna's beauty and his ornament. But anyway, he had the intention of stealing some of the ornaments. So a thief asked politely, Krishna, you are very cute and very beautiful. Can I get some of the ornaments? I want to have it. No, my mother will scold if I go like this. Then, okay, I'll ask my mother and come. So like that, the thief was associated with the Supreme Lord for few days. But finally, Krishna wanted to give. But by that time, his heart transformed by in touch with Krishna, by in associated with Krishna. Then he became a great devotee. So these are the instructions where when we touch with the spiritual master, when we touch with the Supreme Lord, our materialistic way of enjoying life will vanish and we progress towards spiritually advancing. So that is the transformation will take place when we come in touch with the spiritual master. Same thing happened to Dhruva Maharaj also. All of you are aware that Dhruva was become very angry at his father, that he did not allow he allowed only my son, my brother, younger brother, to sit on his lap, and or his stepmother, Surichi, I think she prohibited your son of other wife Suniti, you are not allowed to sit on your father's lap. So he got disappointed and he went to his mother that I want a kingdom bigger than this, and I want to challenge, or I want to have a bigger position than my father. That my father did not, or my younger other mother did not allow me to sit on my father's lap. So then Suniti directed, you go to forest and search for Vishnu. He can only fulfill your desire. So, so like that, Dhruva went to the forest and he was in the process of searching Vishnu. So seeing this sincerity, Narada Muni appeared there. So Narada Muni appeared and what you are searching for? So you are a very small child, here forest, so many cruel animals will be there. How do you survive? The mistake which father did, it is a small thing. You can go and peacefully live somewhere. Why you have to be so much determined to attain something which is very impossible to get? So like that, Narada advises, no, if you want to give advice, how to attain this, you suggest, otherwise I will follow my path. So then Narada, seeing his determination, that's why his name called Dhruva. Dhruva means he is very determined. So the Dhruva Maharaj, Narada explained, so you follow this process, you meditate, you chant Om Namo Narayanaya or Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and start the Ashtanga Yoga process. Or then within he practiced whatever Narada Muni told, because he is in touch with the Lord. So he followed and he perfected. He had the darshan of the Lord just in 6 months. So when he had the darshan, he immediately became spiritually enlivened. He was actually forgot his own desire of materialistic desire of goal of achieving something kingdom bigger than his father. So he said, I was searching for a broken pieces of broken glass, but I got a diamond of the Supreme Lord. So I don't need, but so still Supreme Lord gave the benefit of a kingdom which is bigger than him, but still he was not materialistic living, he was living as a pure devotee of the Lord. So that's how our life is transformed. Same thing happened to Narada Muni as well. Just like he had an association of the Bhaktivedantas when he was 5 years old in the previous life. So same thing he followed, and he had got darshan in a few moments. He actually very fastly grow in his sadhana bhakti from little Shraddha, then sadhu sangha, then bhajana kriya, anartha nivritti, nishta, ruchi, asakti, and bhava. So in the very few years of his practice, he reached actually bhava stage. That's what the symptoms. When he started meditating, the tears are rolling down from his eyes, and he could immediately capture or see the Supreme Lord in the heart, in the Paramatma feature. So that is the benefit of, if we follow the spiritual master direction, we will not be cheated. We get the ultimate goal of life of attaining our perfection of life by having darshan of the Lord. So, but what happened after immediately? He had only a glimpse of Lord's darshan, but that Lord actually disappeared again. So being perturbed, he was actually grief-stricken. He tried attempting so many times, still Lord did not come. So after that, because Lord is satisfied with Narada's endeavor, so instead of he giving again darshan, he started speaking to him. So in the further verses, what Lord spoke, we'll see in the future verses. So here it is said, Lord spoke to me with gravity and pleasing words just to mitigate my grief. So Narada is in grief-stricken condition now because he lost the darshan of the Lord again. So we are trying so many attempts, but still he could not have the darshan. Then, by seeing the grief-stricken position of the Narada, Supreme Lord spoke to Narada. So this is possible when we actually satisfy the spiritual master. So we cannot actually get the darshan of the Lord directly. So we have to please the spiritual master, then Lord is pleased and he gives his darshan to us, his attendance. So similarly we see the pastime where Yashoda tried to bind Krishna in the Damodar Leela. So we have recently celebrated Damodar Leela. So Mother Yashoda brought all the ropes in the house and she keep on trying to bind Krishna, but it was not possible. The rope is still short of some 2 inches. So Mother Yashoda could not bind him. So because Krishna is not ordinary person, he is the Ananta, or he is infinite spiritual person, Supreme Lord. He is the Vishwatma. So, but Krishna, when he saw his mother is keep on trying and exhausted, then because seeing mother's love for him, he agreed. So when Krishna agrees only, he can be born. So that's the pastime of Lord Damodara, where Mother Yashoda could bind Krishna because of her love. So similarly, when we go to Vrindavan, all the people in the Vrindavan, they say, Radhe, Radhe. So they chant the name of the devotee. They don't chant the name of the Krishna directly. For what? They want to please the devotee first, so that Krishna becomes pleased and Krishna will be granted. So when we went to Vrindavan Parikrama, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, they are all walking on the Parikrama marg and they are chanting Radhe Radhe Ham Sham Milade. So they're all begging for Radharani only. For what? For to make Krishna give to us. So when Radharani is pleased, Radharani very kindly gives Krishna to us. Similarly, when we follow spiritual master's instructions, when we follow spiritual master's direction and follow his guidelines, Krishna becomes pleased and Krishna himself will come to us. Krishna himself will reveal to us. We need not do any separate endeavor of, I want to see Krishna. When we satisfy Srila Prabhupada, please him, immediately Krishna will reveal to us. So here, after having darshan of the Lord, Narada could only hear the words of the Lord. So it is said in the Vedanta so that this Krishna's words, Krishna spoke, these words are actually non-different from his darshan also. So his words, his form, his pastimes, with whomever we associate, with our whichever aspect, which is not different from the Lord. So words are actually, even if you hear the Lord's words, it is actually seeing the Lord, if you are actually experiencing the Lord. So that by which actually Narada mitigated his grief. So what he spoke, the Lord will further discuss in the next verses. So similarly, even though we are not able to see the Supreme Lord directly, but the spiritual master gave the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It is said in Padma Purana that Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukta Abhinnatvam Nama Naminaha. So this holy names, the 16 words are actually Abhinnatvam. There is no difference between Nama and Namina. So the Lord, Krishna himself, is non-different from his name. So we are more fortunate that we may not undergo difficult process as Narada, Dhruva undergone to have darshan of the Lord. By Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mercy and Srila Prabhupada's mercy, that we all got the holy name in our life. So if you take up, because that is said in the Shastra that Krishna is not different from his name. So when we chant and hear the same vibration, we are directly in touch with the Lord. So we do not worry that I am missing the Lord's darshan moment to moment. So, but we have got the process given by Srila Maharaj that every moment we can have darshan, we can touch with the Lord by invoking Lord's holy name in life. So this process, if you follow, we are in not separation from the Lord. So that's like Narada was separated, or he is feeling separation because Lord's absence. Just like in Vrindavan, when Akrura came and took Krishna Balaram to Mathura for a wrestling match. So in that Vrindavan, gopis and gopas were very much attached to Krishna, seeing personally. So they are all grief stricken. They are all felt separation, viraha, by missing the form of the Lord. So they were all grief stricken and they're actually almost fainting every day. So similarly, just like here, Narada is also fainting, or Narada is also grief stricken. So in that Krishna's pastime, Krishna seeing the position of the gopis, so feeling separation from him, so he sent a letter through Uddhava to mitigate his suffering. The same thing here also, Krishna is, instead of sending letter, he is speaking to Narada to mitigate his grief. So where there Krishna explained that I will come back to Vrindavan, I will not leave again. So like that, Krishna told, gave spiritual instructions in the letter. Uddhava spoke to the gopis, and they a little bit mitigated their grief. Similarly, here Narada also was grief stricken, but when he heard the Lord's message again, not in the form but in the form of words, it's not different from his association. So Narada also he mitigated his grief. So we can also take advantage of the Supreme Lord's connection with us by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is chanting, as Prabhupada told, to come to the 16 malas to chant daily, and we can have the Lord's connection directly with us, and we can have the Lord's association moment to moment when we invoke Lord's holy names. So we can take advantage of Lord's holy names in this age, and we can actually see the Lord in the form of Shabda. So that's the Shastra's verdict. Kalikale Namarupa Krishna Avatara. So Krishna has come in the form of Shabda in this age. So we can be more benefited by taking the form or taking the Shabda Avatara and associating with him. Then our life will successful. We'll stop with this. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki